Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying and to a video that I have been promising you for some time now. It's been put off, I've been busy, I've been struggling to get time to sit down and do this with the attention that it deserved, but it's finally happened. I actually had someone left a comment the other day asking whether this video had fallen by the wayside. It hasn't, it is here. We are here. So, in this video, I want to go back into the world of digital rallying and to EA Sports WRC because I wanted to do a bit of a comparison between the 2023 and 2024 Rally1 cars. I thought it would just be interesting if me, a casual gamer, could kind of tell the difference between the cars. So I tried as much as I could to do a sort of relatively fair comparison. So basically, I took all 6 Rally1 cars from last year and this year, and just back-to-back them on the same stage in Central European Rally, and just to see if I could tell the difference. So I did runs in each car, and just tried to compare them as much as I could. So it was an interesting experiment. I think, you know, it was difficult to do it in a fully accurate scientific way because, you know, the more runs you do of the stage, the more comfortable you get, don't you? And the more you get into the groove with the cars and how they drive. So I'm not paying too much attention to the times and things, just kind of the feeling. Now, I think that's an important part of it, isn't it? Because as a kind of casual player, and that feeling is, you know, it's perhaps difficult to make too much of a kind of concrete conclusion. That said, I think for me it was difficult to really say definitively that there was a difference between them. I do think that there was. I do think there are some changes. So I did each car in turn. So I did 23 Puma, 24 Puma, 23 Toyota, 24 Toyota, 23 Hyundai, 24 Hyundai. So I started with the Puma, and I do think that perhaps the Puma is a little bit more stable, the 24 car. As I said, you know, but starting in the 23 car and then moving to the 24 car, obviously I'd spent more time driving, hadn't I, by that point? So maybe I was just getting used to it. I must say up front, I don't spend a huge amount of time driving the Rally1 cars. I'm not a big Rally1 fan, as you will know if you've watched any of my videos. I'm not going to get into a rant about why I don't like them. So, you know, I think I have to be conscious of that. I have to be clear about that. But it did just feel that the 24 Puma was a bit more stable. You know, it wasn't quite so twitchy, perhaps. It felt a little bit easier to drive, and I mean, I was quicker in it in terms of times. But I said I don't want to focus too much on that because it is possible that was just me kind of getting used to the stage a bit. So it did feel a bit better, and I think the same is probably true of the Toyota. The Toyota was the car that I was quickest in, the 24 Toyota that is, and it did feel a little bit easier to drive, a little bit more kind of stuck to the road, a little bit less twitchy than the 23 car. But I'm talking, you know, a minor difference in both cases, and it's difficult to say whether that is a placebo, me getting more comfortable and better with the car, or a definitive difference. I think there is a difference, but like me, if you're a casual player, it's perhaps, you know, perhaps difficult to really notice. If you've got thousands of hours under your belt, I'm sure you could probably tell the difference. If you're messing around with setups all the time, you know, I just drove the cars out of the box just to try and be as fair as possible and keep it as simple as possible. That said, there is one thing that is for certain, and I think that is the Hyundai is the trickiest car to drive. That was the one, I drove it last, so I had the most Rally1 experience by that point, and that was the car that I struggled with the most. I got in it after the Toyota, which I said was the car I was probably the most comfortable with, and went and had to set the fastest time in, and I just couldn't quite get it to do what I wanted it to do to begin with. I really struggled with it. It seemed a bit unnatural, a bit twitchy, and one thing I really noticed is off the line, every single time off the line, the ghost car for my PB would pull away. Every time. I couldn't get the Hyundai to accelerate for the first few hundred metres as quickly as the Yaris. I wouldn't have noticed that if I'd been able to turn the ghost car off, which I would usually do, but I couldn't be bothered because I was doing lots and lots of runs. But please, EA Sports, please let us turn the ghost car off permanently. If you do one thing to this frickin' game, put an option to turn the ghost car off permanently. It drives me nuts. Anyway, like complaints about the ghost car aside, I think, like the other two, I do think the 24 Hyundai was slightly better, and I did get used to it after driving it a bit. But yeah, I do think it is probably the worst car in the game. Is that a reflection of reality? I don't know. Maybe worst car is unfair. Maybe the most difficult to drive, you know, and maybe it is that Thierry Neuville and Ott Tanak are fantastic and are masking that and driving around some of its issues in real life, or maybe the game is slightly disconnected, who knows. But yeah, I think the one thing is that I did notice more than the difference between the 23 and 24 cars was the difference between the Hyundai and the other cars. So in conclusion, on the Rally1 side, I think, yeah, there is a difference, but if you're a casual player like me, you might find it difficult to spot, or, you know, it's perhaps difficult to quantify. That said, where there is a difference, and I do think it outweighs that, and it's kind of more important in a way, it's just the fact that the cars are there, isn't it? You know, it's nice having the 24 liveries, and that brings its own extra dimension, doesn't it? It brings its sense of fun. So I think, you know, I think it is important that they're there, and I don't want anyone to think that this is me having a pop at Codemasters, because it's not. You know, I think it's good that the cars are there, and there is a difference. So I'm pleased about that. And it is also worth noting that where there is a distinct difference, particularly with the Puma, is the sound. Puma is a very different sounding car. The 24 model year Puma is a very different sounding car. So it's good that they've captured that. It adds an extra dimension, doesn't it? I'm bored of Rally1 though. Like I said, Rally1 doesn't interest me, because what I want to talk about is the thing that I've been enjoying the most, and that is the Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2. That for me is a revelation. I've been really enjoying it. So I did some experimentation with that as well. I've driven some of the other Rally 2s in comparison, and I must say I really like the Yaris. It seems to have a nice balance. It's not snappy. I rather like it. Obviously, it sounds more interesting than the other cars because it's got its little 3-cylinder engine. It seems like it performs well. I think I've beaten some of my previous personal bests that I'd set in other Rally 2 cars. Previously, I'd spent most of my time switching between the Skoda RS Rally 2, the latest Fabia, and the C3. And I think the Yaris might be my new favourite. I think it might be my new favourite Rally 2 car. In real life, I like it because I think it's arguably the best looking Rally 2 car, and obviously it's interesting with the sound and things. But I think in the game, I think it might be the most enjoyable now. I've kind of gelled with it quite quickly, whereas like the Hyundai, for example, and the Fiesta, I kind of struggle to get on with them a little bit compared to the Skoda and the Citroen. So I spent more time, like I said, in the Skoda and the Citroen. But yeah, I think the Toyota might be my favourite, and I think it's my favourite part of the 2024 season update. So yes, I think that's perhaps a bigger conclusion for me, is that the Rally1 cars, it's good that they're there, it's good that they've updated them, but yes, I think the best thing to come from the 2024 season expansion is the addition of the GR Yaris Rally 2. That said, I find myself more excited for what's coming in the future. I think, you know, the season expansion was fine. It would have been nice for me, I think, to see a bit more. I would have loved to have seen an extra car, because I think, you know, saying that they'd added 5 cars when 4 of them were updates to the Rally1 cars and to the Rally 3 Fiesta. Really, we only had one completely new car, and I would have really liked to see a completely new car. That said, there is talk that we will get new cars over the next few months with the upcoming season expansions. I can't remember what the Maestro pack or something one of them's called, isn't it? There is talk that we'll get cars with those. And that raises a question, doesn't it? What cars would we like to see? And there are many. There are many cars I'd like to see. Oh, there are so many cars that could be added, aren't there? So many cars. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was scrolling through the menus, just looking at the cars that are in there, and I was just thinking, man, what do we need to add to this? The big one for me, the obvious choice in modern terms and keeping up with the current WRC, is the Rally 3 Clio. I think that is a big omission. I know some people say, Rally 3 isn't that important, but I think to not have one of the current championship cars from that category is a big miss. I really think they need to add the Clio Rally 3. I would also like to see them add Rally 4 Clio. I know there's not an official category in WRC for Rally 4 cars anymore, but wouldn't it be nice to have that in there and an extra addition? I'd also like to see the Rally 5 Clio. Again, I know it's not a top line, you know, not a world championship category car now. It's kind of more aimed at junior level, or not junior level, at national level, sorry. But it would just be nice to see it. Other cars, oh my God, I've got a list. I wrote a list. There's so many other cars. Other things that I think are an obvious miss that they could add. We don't have the 2017 to 2021 Toyota or Hyundai. We've got the Fiesta and the Polo. It would be nice to see those. I'd like to see some more of the 2012 to 2016 WRC cars. We've only got the Mini, so we don't have the Citroen, we don't have the Fiesta, don't have the Polo, and the Polo was obviously a massively successful car. Weird that we've got the 2017 Polo that never competed, but we don't have the the all-conquering Polo that won 4 championships. What else would I like to see? I'd like to see the Skoda Octavia WRC. I'm sure that would make Jamie from the Gravel crew very happy to see that in there. It's quite an iconic kind of cult WRC car, isn't it? Fabia S2000, surprised that's in there. We've got a couple of S2000 cars in there, but the Fabia was the most successful of them all. So it seems kind of logical for that to be in there. Aside from that, I'd like to see more historic stuff. You know, we could have 106 Maxi and Suzuki Swift or something in the Super 1600s. Zara kit car would be nice to see in the F2 category. Clio Maxi is another one I'd like to see in there. Some of the Group A F2 cars, you know, the narrow body Clio or something like that. Group A, lots could be added to Group A. One I was looking through the list, and one that jumped out at me was the Celica, you know, ST185 or ST205 perhaps. God, that would give some Sega Rally vibes, wouldn't it, having an ST205 Celica in there? So that would be nice to see. You know, oh my God, there's endless Group A cars you could add, isn't there? A Sierra Sapphire Cosworth is one that I'd like to see, but is perhaps not going to be one that they add. Maybe when they've got a 3-door Sierra and an Escort Cosworth. Escort World Rally car, Toyota Corolla World Rally car in the 97 onwards cars. There are so many, aren't there? So many cars that they could add. I'm sure that in the historic and Group B categories, that kind of those older cars, I'm sure people could think of loads and loads of cars that they could add. And I think that, like I said, I think that is the thing that I'm most excited for. What are we going to see next? You know, the 2024 season expansion pack was important. Like I said, it was an important addition to get the liveries and add that new dimension. But I think for me, it is what cars do we add next? That's what I'm excited about, and I really hope we get some with these next 2 expansion packs. So I'm going to finish this with a question. 2 questions, in fact, 2 questions we're going to finish with. One, have you spent any time playing with the new Rally1 cars, and have you noticed a big difference between the 2023 and 2024 cars? I'd like to know your feedback and whether you think I'm wrong, and perhaps more importantly, which cars would you like to see added? What do you think are the big omissions that they need to rectify, that they need to get in there? Do let me know in the comments below. As always, please like, comment and subscribe. I am extremely grateful that we've now got to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very, very much for your support. It is amazing. I know it's still a small number in YouTube terms, but it's significant to get to that point, so I'm really, really pleased about that. Let's wrap it up there. Please, as I said, do keep like, comment, subscribe, because it does make a difference and it does make it feel worthwhile to get some validation from strangers on the internet. I will see you again in the next video, which should be something more exciting. Again, back in the real world, so stay tuned for that. See you next time.